I think the thing that I hate the most about dressing the way that I do, or being alternative, or being a part of some sort of subculture, I don't really know what subculture that is yet, but I think the thing that I hate the most about this kind of dress or attire is that people seem like all social norms go out the window. Because if I don't dress normally, then it means that I'm not a normal person, or I'm not like a human being, or I'm just not worthy of having like normal social interactions with people. I don't really know how to word myself. And when I say that, I mean that it's totally like people think that it's totally acceptable to call me ugly, to insult my makeup saying that I look like shit or it looks like shit, or they think it's okay to make assumptions based off of my religion, make assumptions of my religion, not based off of, I don't have a religion. They think it's okay to make assumptions based off of my attire that somehow like affects my religion, or they make assumptions on my sex life. But like people think that it's totally okay to do this because somehow you looking a certain way decides how other people are going to treat you and whether or not you are worthy of being treated with respect or not. Like, I've been told by people both online and in real life that if I don't want to be harassed in any way, that I shouldn't dress the way that I do. And I think that's just a very fucked up way of looking at it because, like, I'm a person, I just have a different sense of fashion. And, like, I somehow need to prove my worth as a person, or I need to justify the reason that I wear spikes around my neck, or I need to justify me wearing, like, a shit ton of makeup. I know I'm pretty, like, I think that my makeup is pretty basic bitch ass today, but whatever. Like, if I'm wearing something more avant-garde or something a lot more darkly inclined or heavy or something like that, I somehow need to justify that. Or I don't have one anymore, but I used to have an eyebrow ring. Gonna re-pierce it soon. I'm just kind of lazy at this point. I need to justify that. It's like, oh, why do you dress that way? Like, why do you dress the way that you do? Like, somehow the way that I'm dressed, it means that it is okay to not treat me like you treat anybody else. And I know that if I look differently, if I dressed normally, no one would be trying to defend this kind of mentality of, like, at the very end of the day, it's kind of victim blaming. I know that no one would try to justify or defend, like, if you don't want it to be like that, then dress differently, you brought it upon yourself. Like, and here's the thing, I really want to get mad and I want to yell at these people, like, especially if you get touched. Like, it's only happened to me like once or twice, but it shouldn't happen to me at all, and I shouldn't even have to say it, but you don't touch people without their permission, especially if they're strangers. Like, I just, like, especially when people touch me, I really just want to get mad and, like, yell at them and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Or, like, if people just start making rude comments or something like that, I really just want to get mad and, like, start yelling at them and insulting them. But, like, I'm not really the kind of person to insult people based off of their appearance, because I think that's just really stupid, because, like, especially when it comes to beauty is such a subjective thing. Like, everyone, like, I like the way that I look, and I know that there are other people who like the way I look. Like, my boyfriend really likes the way I look, and he's not alternative in the slightest. He's like a normal person and whatnot. That's how I know I'm not crazy. Because normal people, quote unquote, like the way I look, not just alternative people. But, fuck, what was I saying? I don't remember. Okay, anyways, what I was saying is that I'm not really the kind of person to start insulting people on the way that they look, only because I just think that's really childish and really low. Like, if you want to have an argument, like, go ahead and have an argument, but the moment you start making really personal insults, I think that just proves that you lost the argument. But anyways, my point is that beauty is subjective, and, like, I want to get, like, when people start insulting me and stuff like that, like, I want to get mad and I want to start yelling at them, but I feel like if I do that, then I'm just kind of, like, fitting a stereotype, if that makes sense, and I don't want to do that. Like, I guess that I do fit some stereotypes based on people who dress like me. I don't really want to get into it. And, like, I don't really want to admit it because I don't want to admit that I fit stereotypes. Like, I don't want to admit that, if that makes sense. And I don't want to further, like, prove a point, like, oh, you're just like what I thought you were like. Like, I feel like, especially if I get mad and stuff like that and start yelling, people are just going to assume, or further assume, that everyone who dresses this way is mean or, like, a bad person or something like that. And so that's, like, the biggest thing. I don't know if that really makes sense or not, but in my head, it makes sense. I don't know. And I know that it gets worse, like, as you get older. I don't know. I was talking to one or two people about it via the internet. And then I also saw some, like, vlogs on YouTube or videos. Like, there's one video that was, like, on my Facebook that I saw that was really just heartbreaking, of some woman who had, like, tattoos, like, sleeves, and she received a letter from someone else, and she was a mom, and, like, like 4 or 5 or whatever other moms of wherever her kid goes to school sent her a letter like, you need to cover up your tattoos because you're setting a bad example. And, like, I just feel like when you get older, it's kind of worse. Because, like, when you're younger, it's just oh, you're just in a rebellious stage. But then when you get older, it's like, oh, you're just a fucked up person. Oh, you're not going to get a job. Oh, you look like crap. Oh, there must be something wrong with you. And it's a lot more lenient when it's within younger people. And I think it's even more lenient towards girls. Like, I feel kind of really bad for guys who dress alternatively, because I feel like they have to put up with a lot more shit. Like, it's not, because, like, first of all, if you wear makeup, like, people are gonna get pissy that a guy's wearing makeup like it's the end of the world or something like that. But then another part is that, like, I know that, like, it's the same thing in, like, the kind of, like, mainstream kind of thing, but, like, guys who, like, put effort into looking nice, or they try to look nice and buy nice clothes and stuff like that, then people are just like, oh, you're just gay. You're just gay. But I feel like it's a lot, like, you get a lot more of that if you dress, like, a certain way. I don't think this is acceptable. And I just really hate how, like, this whole respect thing, like, someone was my friend's ex-girlfriend when they were still dating. She went on to talk about me to him, and she described me as, like, oh, she was really nice, but she wears a lot of black. And it's like, shouldn't it just end at she's really nice? Like, why should there be a but? And why should that but be about my appearance? Like, I feel like that's kind of superficial. Like, you're not gonna hang out with me, or you're not gonna want to be seen around in public with me because of the way that I look. Like, I feel like that's really superficial. And, like, I've heard this kind of stuff from, like, my parents too, and that really hurts. And, like, I think I've kind of explained it to my mom, and she understands it and she gets it now. But even before, like, my dad is one of those people who is like, if you don't want to get harassed or anything like that, then you shouldn't dress that way. Like, that's just shitty parenting, I think. I think that as a parent, that you should try to embrace your child, whether they're different or not, and just, like, try to keep them safe and whatnot. Like, obviously, I don't think that you should let your kid go to parties with people. Actually, no. Like, even then, I don't think you should, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, with parenting, like, you should obviously try to do what's best for your kid and try to do what's best, but, like, especially dressing in a way like this, like, I don't even see what's so controversial about it. Like, I'm wearing just, like, a plain black t-shirt, a cardigan, and a really long black skirt that goes all the way to the floor. Like, I am so dressed so conservatively. It's not even like it's, like, being, like, sexually provocative or anything like that, so I don't really understand it. Like, obviously, you should try to monitor your kids at some way to try to make them, like, be safe and stuff like that. But, like, just because they do their makeup a little weird, or they do their hair a little weird, or they dress a little weird, like, I think that's kind of shitty if you're trying to tell them not to be like that because you don't like it. Like, the world doesn't revolve around you, so sorry. You don't have to like the way that I look. I'm not asking you to like the way that I look. I'm just asking that if you don't, then to just respect that I like myself and to just move on with your life. Like, it all comes down to basic respect. yeah, I don't know a better way of putting it. Like, people are different, and not everyone's gonna like everyone because we're all different, and most people like familiarity within things. And that's totally fine, like, that's human nature. But there's a difference between, like, not liking someone or something or whatever and being a dick about it. Like, I don't think anyone, or actually, I take that back. It's become such like a trendy hipster kind of thing. Like, yeah, I am a dick, deal with it. It's the internet, you should expect it. And that really fucking irritates me. Like, oh, it's the internet, you should expect things like that. If you don't want or people to like be mean to you or whatever, then you should just not post it. Like, that's so stupid. Would you say that stuff in person? Because half of these people, more than half of these people, likely would not say this kind of stuff in person. People on the internet need to be held to the same level of like, accountability that people would in real life. And no one else, or not many other people think that way. Or not many other people like maybe necessarily agree with that. And even it's kind of like a cognitive dissonance kind of thing with me, only because I think trolling is fucking hilarious. But even, like, I've trolled people, I'm going to admit it, but I don't insult people. Like, personal insults, like, that's just, like, a really big thing to me, and it really irritates me when people do that. And especially, I see this a lot in the whole beauty community kind of thing. Like, I really like the beauty community. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to be a part of it and stuff like that, but at the same time, I really hate it because, like, people are just like, oh, yeah, makeup, like, let's do this and be creative and make ourselves look pretty and stuff like that. But at the same time, someone like Drac Makins, who I really like, who actually is a really creative person and really does go above and beyond with, like, being different and, like, doing herself, like, you do you, like, that's what she's doing. And then you see people like, oh, you're ugly, oh, blah, 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 oh, you don't look great. This is what really irritates me when people say, I think makeup is meant to enhance your natural beauty. Like, bitch, am I trying to look natural? Having bright red lips isn't natural, but a lot of people try to do that. Having winged eyeliner isn't natural. Having, like, a wing coming out of your eyeball isn't natural, but that's still, like, something that people do and is socially acceptable and stuff like that. That is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard, especially coming from a community that's supposedly all, like, wanting to be creative and wanting to look, like, fashionable. Wanting to, like, make yourself feel good and look pretty. Like, people wear makeup to make themselves feel good. And why the hell do you think you have the right to bash someone and try to make other people feel like shit because they do their makeup differently? That just really fucking irritates me. I see, like, her, she's just, like, so different. Like, she doesn't have eyebrows and she paints her face. Like, good for you. Like, I prefer eyebrows. I mean, I'm debating whether or not I should shave them off and draw them on, but for now, I like my natural eyebrows. But I'm not gonna, like, yell at someone and try to make them different. Especially in, like, this kind of society that we're becoming where it's, like, I don't know. This kind of society where it's, like, you should be yourself and you should, like, do you. But only do you within this certain framework. Like, don't be too different or else you're scary. Don't be too different or else, like, you're not respectable. And I just really hate that kind of mentality. And, like, I get that everyone's a hypocrite, and everyone is a hypocrite, believe me. Like, people either don't realize it yet, or they're in denial about it, but everyone is hypocritical in some way, shape, or form. But, like, I think that we should strive not to be. We should strive to try to be, like, good people, be who you want to be. And, like, this is who I am. I like dressing this way, I like doing my makeup this way, I like listening to really weird 80s thrash metal and pagan folk metal from, like, Scandinavian countries and shit like that, and that's totally fine. Like, I really personally hate country music, but I'm not gonna yell at you or call you a faggot because you like country music, or because you hate, like, whatever. And it's just, like, so mad, and I'm just ranting at this point. I don't know how to get it across. It's just that you need to respect other people, and this is just kind of, like, opening me up to trolls on the internet who are just gonna be like, oh, you're a faggot, you're a pussy, you can't take the heat and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter, it just kind of furthers my point. Like, it's so, like, cool and edgy now to be mean and to be a dick towards people, and it's so, like, acceptable and justifiable to, like I said, just be mean and be a dick to people. And I think that's very rude. Like, I'm not trying to be like the Good Samaritan here. Like, if you hate someone passionately, you have every right to hate that person. There are people who I hate passionately. Like, not everyone's gonna like everyone. It's just a matter of, do you respect them as a person? Yes or no? And if you respect them as a person, then you just need to, like, accept that they're happy, they're different than you, that they're happy with the way that they are, and move on with your life. So yeah, I'm just kind of repeating what I already said at this point, but yeah. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, possibly or possibly not, then please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. And I have an outfit of the day for this look. I don't know if it's going to go up before or after this video, but either way, I'm sorry for the shitty lighting. It's like overcast today, but whatever. Yeah, just be nice to people.